They think they're saving the earth. These people are narcissistic on a level you can't even begin to comprehend. Housing prices are unaffordable. How did housing prices get so bad? They told you what they're going to do. They tell you. Guys, this is why you pay attention. This is why you listen to me. Because I'll pay attention. If you don't want to pay attention, I will. $200,000 Atlanta paid to have the rainbow painted in its crosswalks. What was it? We're paying the Taliban $100 million a month. 20 years. How many trillions of dollars? How many lives spent in Afghanistan? And we replaced the Taliban with the Taliban?
Everyone's a victim!
We are live. Happy Tuesday, all you glorious Gooners. Tuesday, that means softball for me. So we're in and out in 45 minutes here. It's your boy, Gerard Michaels. This is Gerard versus Evil on a marvelous Tuesday. I wish I could be a Democrat. I wish I could be J.B. Pritzker and sit there and be a white, fat billionaire and say that rich white people are the worst. Rich white men are the worst. They're ruining America. Vote J.B. Pritzker for governor. Gavin Newsom, Gretchen Whitmer, these are the people. Like, who do the Democrats have that is not just complete and total scum of the earth? Cory Booker? I know Cory Booker. He doesn't remember me, but I remember him. I worked in politics in New Jersey. I think Cory was doing a good job. Cory Booker was the Key and Peele sketch. I played for the Newark Bears. At the very end of my career. That's the last stop right there. That's when you know things are trending in the wrong direction. And we're in the clubhouse, and Cory Booker comes walking through, inviting us all to sunny Newark, New Jersey, which, by the way, gets a bad rap. I love Newark, New Jersey, especially Ferry Street. If you're tough and you want to have a good time, and you like Brazilians, Ferry Street in Newark's a good time, buddy. Don't get it twisted. I always say Cleveland, where Chris is from. Cleveland is like if Philly stopped trying, or if Newark just tried a little bit. That's what. Imagine Cleveland operating at about 75%, and then Newark, New Jersey, buddy, the home of the New Jersey Devils. There you go. The home of the Red Bulls, right there. Well, the Harrison, I guess technically. Anyway, so Cory Booker would walk through our locker room. I only did it once, but he'd shake my hand and be like, "Hey, buddy, welcome to Newark, New Jersey. Hope you're having a good time." I'd be like, "Yeah, I grew up in Old Bridge." He's like, "Oh, a local guy. Great to have you." And then he'd go to the next guy, Alberto Castillo, think he was a black guy. I'd be like, "My man, having a good time?" Alberto was like the most racist dude. He'd be like, I don't even want to say it, but it had to do with monkeys and bananas. Didn't want to talk to him. And they'd see a white guy and be like, "Welcome to Newark. Make sure you check out our world-class Portuguese restaurants." See a black guy like, "My man, we got great nightlife. Check out our Hennessy." Like, it was so ridiculous. I know you think I'm being racist. This is what it was. This is what it was. This was Cory Booker, the guy from Stanford who did not live in Newark. Ask you think I'm being rough on Cory Booker? Google Ras Baraka. See what Ras Baraka has to say about Cory Booker. The guy dating Eva Mendes. I think they're dating still. Who there was a very interesting rumor going around about old Cory Booker and a very attractive young Brazilian boy. But that's neither here nor there. I would never be somebody that would spread unsubstantiated rumors on the internet. That's beneath me. Just as that young Brazilian boy was apparently beneath Cory. So anyway, the Gretchen Whitmer seems to be up there. The queen of Botox, who locked her whole state down and then perpetrated a false flag kidnapping on herself to try to help her polling numbers because she was polling so poorly. The feds, the states, whoever they were. We should probably look it up. But again, we're above unsubstantiated rumors around here. Like, it would be a rumor to suggest that Governor Whitmer was the head of a plot to kidnap herself and blame it on right-wing extremists who go to PTA meetings and like the Constitution. Those crazy right-wing extremists. China owns all of Detroit. Somalis have taken over entire swaths of Michigan. Swear to God, Sharia law, the whole nine. But those crazy right-wing extremists and their checks notes love of their family and country they gotta go. So she wants to be president. And then, of course, there's Gavin Newsom, maybe the single most slimy, scummiest person on Earth, planet Earth. Absolute scum of the earth, Gavin Newsom, a man who was recalled, a governor of California who was recalled by Californians, then, voted back in by totally legitimate votes, of course, who shut the whole state down during the pandemic only so he and his friends could go eat, mask-free, of course, at the French Laundry. Couple $1,000 a night dinner there. One of Candace's favorite restaurants, as it turns out. Candace knows good food, so the French Laundry must be pretty good. Nephew of none other than our queen, Nancy Pelosi. Gavin Newsom is one of the worst human beings on planet Earth. Absolutely soulless. Tim Dillon's done a better job than I can on ranting on him. Look up Tim Dillon and Gavin Newsom. The great Brian Callen made the mistake of being cross with Gavin Newsom on the Joe Rogan podcast, and Gavin Newsom decided to text Brian Callen, "How can you say those mean things about me? I thought we were friends." I'm sorry. I didn't want to move out of my home. Nobody in LA wanted to leave LA. You made it so unaffordable that people are living in Texas. No ocean anywhere around. They moved 2,000 miles from their home because of how poorly you govern that state. 27, I believe, Christian, look up that number, 27 billion they've spent on eradicating homelessness since he's taken office. They've eradicated zero homelessness. It's worse now than it was when he started. 27 billion.
24 it says here.
24. I don't want to hyperbolize. That's like one of those things where like Trump says something during the debate and they're like, Trump's nonstop lies during the debate. That's one of Trump's lies right there, where he gets a number wrong or he does hyperbole. You know what I mean? So like that's one of the games that they like to play. So it's 24. We fact checked ourselves, political.
I feel like even like 5 billion would be a lot.
5 billion? It's a lot. Yeah.
1 billion I feel like is a kind of a lot too.
So the average price of a home in California is what, Christian? Let's say, I want to say 400,000. Is that fair? That might be low. Let's say 500,000. Average price of a home. That's a lot, right?
Hold on. This is, for the first time, median price for a home in California surpasses 900,000.
900,000?
This is what I'm getting.
For the whole state of California?
ABC 7. This says total average home value is 780,000, 786,000.
Holy moly!
Surpasses 900,000 on USA Today. Yeah, it's looking like we're in
the average price of a home in California. Like all of California is not LA and San Francisco. That's a big ass state. That's the entire West Coast. So the entire West Coast it's $900,000 on average. There's no way.
Yeah. I'm finding them different figures, but 2023 it was 830,000. Then, yeah.
All right, so let's say 900,000. Hey Siri, what is 24 billion divided by 900,000? That is 26,666.666.666.666. Yeah. So let's say let's round down and help them out. That's 27,000 homes. 27,000 homes. Let's say that they could have got 2 to 3. If it's 900,000, you like to think it's at least 3 bedrooms, right? So let's say about 150,000. If they just bought homes, With that money, they could have housed 150,000 people. Now, that obviously doesn't do anything with homelessness. I'm not dumb, people. I understand this is a mental health issue. This is a drug issue. I get it. The point here is $27 billion to do nothing, and that guy wants to be president. When hundreds of thousands of people leave your state, you should not be allowed to run the country. You can leave a state. I left a state to come to Florida, and my life has improved so dramatically. Christian left the state. You can leave a state. Leaving your country, that's a little more difficult. There's no way this guy should be allowed anywhere near federal office. Look at one man, and one man had the courage to do it. Adam Carolla. God bless Adam Carolla. I love Adam Carolla. Funny but smart and tough. He doesn't see a lot of comedians. They'll act tough. They'll talk tough. But when you get these nerds one-on-one, sissies. Oh, Gavin. Oh, I hope you don't take anything I said offense. It's all just jokes, buddy. If you have any corporate events, I'd love to play it. Not Adam Carolla. Adam Carolla leads from the front. I have no idea how he ever tolerated Jimmy Kimmel for as long as he did, but Adam Carolla leads from the front. Check out Adam Carolla. Now, this is back, I believe, in 2013. Holding Gavin Newsom's feet to the fire as Gavin Newsom, that slick white boy, was trying to play him some culture politics. He's gonna go. Do we have it pulled up, or do I have to keep stalling here? It's one of the things that I sent it to you, bro. It's in your Instagram. You played it earlier.
I thought it was something I had to look up.
No. I literally spoon-fed this to you. I literally did the work. All you gotta do is press play over there. Look at this guy. Boom. Go ahead. This is a master.
Half of African Americans in the state of California, roughly half.
I'm gonna start it over. This is a master class for dealing with A, any politician, and B, anybody in your life that has memorized a couple of socialist talking points and then is always, a socialist is speaking when they are appealing to emotion and not intellect. If they are appealing to emotion and not intellect, then they're Marxist. They know the reason why they bring up African Americans and people of color is because if you argue the point, then you're a racist. So it doesn't matter how bad their politics are. It doesn't matter how little the math makes sense. You just obviously hate black people. So, and that is everything that's happening right now in this country. Everything that's happening right now in this country, and this goes back to what I was talking about before about why they love Joe Biden, because they can blame the rich, evil white guy at the top when it doesn't work. With their climate extremism, with their wealth redistribution, with their equity programs, diversity, equity, inclusion, it's all just money. It all just comes down to robbery, guys. It all just comes down to theft. Like $200,000 in Atlanta. You can pull that up real quick, Chris. I DM'd it to you, too. $200,000. You're not going to believe me, which is why I sent it to Christian. It's in your DMs. You don't believe it's theft? $200,000 Atlanta paid to have the rainbow painted in its crosswalks. $200,000 to have Roy G. Biv painted on their crosswalks. It's insanity. It's insane. No sane person would say, oh, this is a good usage of money. If there's one pothole within 5 miles of that crosswalk if there is one pothole within 5 miles in any direction of that crosswalk, that is garbage money spent. $200,000. This is what they do. They enact these horrible policies. They Europe our America. We're saving the planet from you idiots, but you can't go along with it, because it makes your life a little harder. If it were up to these bureaucratic idiots in Europe, we would have no air conditioning. We would have no airplanes. None. Zero. They put Pete Buttigieg. Pull him up, Christian. It's in your DMs. Pete Buttigieg, a mayor of a small town, in charge of all transportation in the United States. He is a World Economic Forum puppet. This is a guy handpicked by European globalist bureaucracies. I don't care which one. You want to blame the UN? You want to blame the Paris Accord? You want to blame the World Economic Forum? You're right. It's all the same shit. This is a hand-picked bureaucrat, European-style bureaucrat, who is a climate extremist, who is now running transportation in America. And we wonder why. Airline prices are up 25% above inflation. You can't blame inflation. 1 out of every 4 flights is delayed. They're destroying the airline industries. By the way, the airline industry got what? Look this up, Christian. I didn't DM it to you. $200, $300 million from the taxpayer during COVID so that they could survive. And what did they do with that money? They have made it worse than ever to fly. It is horrible to fly from the moment you get to the airport through you go through TSA with their awful attitudes and their incredible wait times. To then
$64 billion.
$64 billion.
I'm sorry, 62.
$62 billion. We gave the airlines $62 billion and they jacked the prices up on us 300%. My God almighty. Are you kidding? $62 billion? $62 billion and 1 out of every 4 planes does not take off on time? $62 billion and you can't get a flight after 10 p.m.? Are you kidding me? $62 billion and TSA is nastier than they've ever been? Bunch of 80 IQ people with freaking hall monitor badges? Golly. But what think about the whole thing. Everywhere you go in an airport, leftist messaging. Nothing but women of color and gay. Women of color and gay, because you can't get mad at them. You can't get mad at them. These European bureaucrats that are enacting all this stuff, they're all white. They're all old white people. But you can get mad at an old white person. You can say, this doesn't make any sense. Why do we have to get rid of gas cars if we're using gas and coal to fire up the charging stations for the electric cars? Doesn't make any sense. 50% of all people who bought an electric vehicle, by the way, in the last 2 years are going back to what they call ICE vehicles now, because we can't say gas. Gas is bad. We're going to ICE vehicles. Internal combustion engine vehicles, ICE. We got to save the world. Give the people paper straws. There's turtles. They yell at us in English. Meanwhile, China, I think, is responsible for a quarter of all of the world's pollution. And then out of the 75% that's left, 30% of that 75% is India. Go there. Protest there. Why don't they sit in front of traffic there? Why don't they throw soup on paintings in Beijing? You know why. You know why. No, that won't be tolerated there, will it? Here, they have realized that empathy, our sympathy for minority groups, our empathy for traditionally marginalized people is their greatest weapon. You take the worst policies on earth and you put a black person, a black face, or a gay person as the face, and it's plot armor. We are not allowed to criticize it, no matter how bad the math is. It's their invincible shield. It's their force field. And this way they don't have to argue the points. They don't have to argue the facts. Because they can't. They know that. They know this is bad policy. By the numbers, this is bad policy. So all they can do is appeal to emotion. Doesn't matter that it's bad. It's for the greater good. You ever notice that you are never part of that greater good? Do you ever notice that the greater good always happens to be them and the people who vote for them. And if you call that out, you're a racist. You're a sexist. You're a homophobe. You're a xenophobe. Immigrants are the backbone of this country. Meh. I'm a grandson of immigrants. But when people that tell me that immigrants are the backbone of this country and that open borders is a good policy live in gated communities, falls on deaf ears. You believe in open borders? You better not have a fence around your yard. You better not have a door on your house, let alone a lock. Come and go as you please. It's not them though, is it? Because Gavin Newsom doesn't live in downtown San Francisco. Gavin Newsom doesn't need to go ask the person at the Walgreens to unlock the window so he can buy a toothbrush. Gavin Newsom eats at the French Laundry. Gavin Newsom spends thousands of dollars on wine in Napa Valley. He doesn't care how bad things are for women in the barrio. He doesn't care that your wife and your 12-year-old daughter take their life in their hands by walking outside their own neighborhood at night. Because they just don't know who's in the neighborhood anymore. None of us do. He doesn't care. He just wants to do what he's told to do by the higher-ups so that he can be the popular guy at the country club parties. He can go to these fundraising dinners with all of these really cool Democrats. Oh, my God, Jay-Z's going to be there. John Legend's going to be there. George Clooney, P. Diddy, all going to be there. Maybe Harvey Weinstein will invite me over for a secret screening of his new movie with Matt Damon. Wow, this is so cool. I'm so popular. They love me. While the rest of us down here in the mud, the disgusting middle class who they despise so much, say, hey, can we just get prices under control real quick? Can we fix some things here before we start painting rainbows on everything and sending whatever's left over overseas? No? Okay. Oh, we can't? Why? Because of black and brown people. They'll suffer. Will they? I feel like black and brown people are pretty middle class these days, just like us. But no. You see, Gavin Newsom and the good liberals like him, they're here to save you. They're here to save black people. Go ahead, Christian, play the clip. Without Gavin, where would they be?
Half of African Americans in the state of California, roughly half of Latino families, have no access to a checking account or an ATM. Things we take for granted. They don't have a checking account.
What's wrong with them?
And well, because they don't have the resources to sock those things away.
Well, why do we have them?
A lot of different reasons, but roughly half those families don't. Where do they
why
end
do
up?
Armenians have them?
But where they end up is in check cashing places.
But I want to know why those groups. Why those two groups don't have access?
Well, a lot of. Just happens to be that. We can talk about
flawed?
This. No, they're hardly flawed, but they're struggling.
Genetically
Folks are making
flawed.
their word. Hardly, not absolutely.
But okay,
not.
Do Asians have this problem?
I mean, a lot of communities have. A lot of whites have these problems.
Oh,
but
so that's not just black and Hispanic.
No, but
why did you bring up black and Hispanic?
Because the magnitude is ominous.
But why so many of them?
It just happens to be the magnitude.
That's the way God planned it?
Not at all.
Well, what happened to them?
There are a lot of issues, and that the communities are struggling. A lot
why
of new
are they
immigrants.
Struggling?
A lot of different reasons. Lack of
Hispanics
opportunity.
Have been here. Blacks have been here longer than we've been here.
Well, we can surmise.
What about Asians? They were put in internment camps
by Democrats.
In fact, it all initiated out of San Francisco.
All right.
The Chinese Exclusion Act came out.
So
Are they the
San Francisco. Are they the check
A lot of Asians certainly do.
Oh, so why don't you conclude them?
The only reason why is the magnitude.
There's
the
so
problem.
many more.
The magnitude in percentage.
But there's no way to figure out how that happened.
We could talk about. You know what I'm dealing with? I don't want to have a sociological debate.
Of course not.
No, here's why.
Why would you want to do that? Because the person from the Times wouldn't write good things about you.
God, no, that's not the case. Because I want to deal with reality. No.
You want to deal with reality.
I want to deal with the reality of people that are struggling. People are suffering. I want to deal with the problems in a pragmatic way. Why are they
struggling and suffering?
I don't want an idea. We can hold hands and surmise about all these underlying reasons.
I don't want to do that. I want to know why they're struggling. Why are they struggling?
A lot of folks are struggling because they can't find jobs.
Why blacks and
because they're working.
Why blacks and Hispanics?
Across the board, all socioeconomic.
Okay, so everybody.
Now it's everybody.
So Asians are suffering just as much as blacks.
The face of welfare is not an African American family.
It's
180.
Asian, Jewish, it's all of them.
Caucasian, it's
okay,
a lot of
so
folks
we're all
in society.
struggling.
There it is right there. See, they just want to say things and then have you just accept it as fact. Have you, and Adam Carolla said, why? Wait, why? It reminds me of you think it's just Gavin Newsom. This is every Democrat. This is Nancy Pelosi kneeling down with the, I don't even know what it was. I call it the Cool Runnings scarf. I forget, that's probably insensitive. Oops. You know, I'm talking about the Cool Runnings scarf, the Jamaican thing. It's around their shoulders. They're kneeling for George Floyd. Or when Kathy Hochul repeated a Joe Biden talking point that oh man, we can't have voter ID because black people just don't know how to use computers. What? Pull up that clip I just sent you, Christian. That Joe Biden said that, and everybody was like, "Oh no, Joe, don't you worked for Barack Obama. Your boss was a black guy, and you're out here saying we can't have voting ID because black people don't know how to use computers." And then Kathy Hochul doubled down on it and said it again. And it's
young black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word a computer is. They don't know. They don't know these things. And I want the world open up to all of them, because when you have their diverse voices innovating solutions through technology, then you're really addressing society's broader.
This is so patronizing. These people have the gall, the temerity to call everyone else racist. They think they're so much better. Oh, they treat minorities like plants that will wither and die if they don't water them with their elitist attention. My God.
Those are the type of people that just put on a black voice when their black friends come around.
100%.
You know what I mean?
100%.
And they don't even know
100%
that they're doing it.
Oh, it's actually one of the things that, people used to when I was at Valuetainment, they'd be like, you and Adam don't really get along. And I'd be like, Adam's a fine guy. Adam's fine. Adam's putting on a show for people that don't know. He doesn't believe a lot of the leftist things they say. He's there to argue. It's entertainment. But he does really legitimately care whether or not, like if I was like, hey, cool, hey, Adam, cool shoes, man, he'd be like, hey, thanks, man. If a black guy was like, hey, Adam, cool shoes, he'd be like, really? Wow. Thank you so much. That means so much. Like, my God, man. You know what's going to end up happening, though, unfortunately, is conservative culture, whatever you want, country culture, I'm going to call it, is going to be the next hip-hop because it's fun. It's fun. It's not lecturing. Think about hip-hop back in the day. Dancing, sex, sexy, screw the man, NWA, fuck the cops. Now hip-hop's like, make sure you register and vote. What? People are rapping about racial inequality and the patriarchy. The woman who the rich half-Jewish girl who just keeps talking about the Star Wars girl. Do you know what I'm talking about, Christian? I can't give her more than 10 seconds of my time. She's just so frustrated. Like, there's nothing more frustrating than idiots who are convinced that they're intelligent. There's nothing. There's nothing more frustrating than an actress like that who has learned a couple of pseudo-intellectual lines, memorized them, and now regurgitates them. But just as Gavin Newsom, when pressed, can't support their position whatsoever. Because just somebody that they thought was smart said something they thought was interesting. So they memorized it. And then they're used to being able to just say that, and then between either their pretty privilege or their brown privilege, not have anybody push back. Country don't do that. If a black guy sings a country song, everybody's like, oh, it's the greatest song ever. Come on in here, brother. It's fun. Fun is where the culture comes from. So enjoy it, because my prediction is within 10 years, country will be the number one culture in America, which means that the CIA and all the evil elitists will get on board with country culture, and then the next thing you know, it'll be all corporate and Disney, and maybe it won't even take 10 years. Maybe plants like Taylor Swift and Miley Cyrus will turn it much quicker. And you'll be up there listening to, they, them tell you why we need open borders and 90% tax rates, and that's the only way to be American. America. People think I hate gay people. I do not hate gay people. Most gay people that I know don't want any of this shit. Same thing with the black guys. Talking all the time. Like, no black guy I know wanted the black national anthem before the Super Bowl. Not a one. Like, even my buddy texted me. Great dude, Quezzy, was like, in the middle of it, I texted him. I was like, you enjoying your national anthem, buddy? He's like, I did not ask for this. That was the text I got back. And it's true, he didn't. He doesn't want that shit. Most real gay people don't want this shit. They definitely don't want what's going on in San Francisco, where those guys were just going down on each other in the middle of the street in front of children. Did you see that, Christian? And they're peeing on each other? Just walking around naked. This is quote-unquote pride? No, this is depravity. You're once again, this is what the quote-unquote progressives do. They take real trauma, they take real pain, and then they usurp it, and they use it as a Trojan horse for their own narcissistic, self-righteous, self-empowering bullshit. They'll take real black pain, real black trauma, and then they will dress it, take the corpse of a slain black person and stuff their ideology inside of it and parade it around. The state, a police officer, will kill a black guy. And then they will look at you in a straight face and say, this is why the state needs to be stronger. This is why we need socialism. This is why we need higher taxes. The police don't have enough power. The government doesn't have enough power. It's nonsensical. Absolutely nonsensical. But it's effective. Or at least it has been. I think people are starting to wake up to it a little bit. I think the youth is definitely starting to sniff it out. And that's good. Because it is a cult. It is an obedience cult. I mean, how many people after the debate were looking at Joe Biden and say, he just had a bad night? And then they don't care. Like Joy Reid will come out and just say, it doesn't matter. I don't care if he's barely hanging on. If he's an empty corpse, we have to vote for him because we can't do another 4 years of Trump. It's about the judges. We used to be on the same team, guys. I grew up in a household where my mom's a Democrat, my dad was a Republican. And never in my life, whether you were Republican or Democrat, did I ever suspect you were anti-American. I always thought we were Americans. Some people like Clinton. Some people like Newt Gingrich back in the day. I don't remember anybody liking Bob Dole. George Bush threw out that first pitch after 9/11. Everybody was, and then we all found out about them, right? And for a good long time, George Bush was the butt of every single joke in this country. Frankly, deservedly so. Dick Cheney, there's an entire movie dedicated to what an evil man he is. But now him and his daughter Liz's endorsement of Joe Biden means something to the mainstream media? The left made an entire movie, Vice, about how evil the Cheneys are. And now the left uses the Cheneys' endorsement of the deep state, the war machine, and Joe Biden as proof that, Republicans are divided. What? Nobody wants Dick Cheney. Donald Rumsfeld was an evil man. But now they're on the right team, so I guess they're okay. So what should we do? Like are we what do you guys really want? If you had capacity for shame, and if honesty ever meant anything, we asked you honestly, okay, like what do you want? Like what do you want? You want a world in which a cop pulls you over and says, "Hey, you were going 65 and a 45 and I smell marijuana coming out of your car. License, registration, and who do you vote for?" And then we know whether or not you're a criminal. You're a felon. Amazing. Amazing the way that they shut the whole world down, burnt America to the ground over George Floyd, a felon. And now Joe Biden, father of Hunter Biden, looks across the debate stage and goes, "You're a felon." Okay. Which, mixed signals, guys. Sending some mixed signals here. Because it's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. But amidst all that bullshit is $200,000 crosswalks. Amidst all this bullshit is $64 billion to airlines for them to take off late and charge you more. Amidst all this bullshit is how much money to Ukraine, how much money to Israel? 200 billion, 300 billion. How much of that money goes to you? None. You pay for all of it with the hours of your life. But they got us fighting each other. The straights versus the gays, the whites versus the blacks, the men versus the women, the natives versus the immigrants. Meanwhile, another $24 billion goes to homelessness. You see the game? See the game being played? Julian Assange did 5 years for exposing the game. Hillary Clinton's on record saying, why don't we just kill him? Why don't we just drone strike him? Any trial for that? Anybody on trial for the Afghan withdrawal? By the way, we're paying the Taliban. If you watched Gerard versus Evil with Alex Witt, Battle Bar and Ian from Battle Bars, what was it? We're paying the Taliban $100 million a month. 20 years. How many trillions of dollars? How many lives spent in Afghanistan? And we replaced the Taliban with the Taliban. Only now we're paying them $100 million a month. But no, please keep fighting with each other. Keep thinking it's a white versus black thing. Conservative versus liberal. Woman versus man. Gay versus straight. As another $100 billion just disappears. And you look at your groceries and you say, man, well, how are groceries 3 times as expensive in 2 years? How is flying 3 times as expensive? Why are the roads such shit? Why are bridges falling down? Like what is happening? Where's all this money? They took in more taxes than ever before. That if only the rich paid their fair share. Christian, pull this up because people are going to check me on this. We brought in more tax revenue. The government, the United States federal government, brought in more tax revenue last year than ever before. Yet somehow things are worse than they've been in decades. Average homeowner income is down over the last 4 years. The average home has less money than it did 4 years ago. How is that possible? I was told tax and spend is the way to prosperity. I was told this is the greatest economy of our lives. I was told that joblessness is down and the stock market is up.
Taxes, or you're looking at $4.4 trillion in
2023. $4.4 trillion, people. $4.4 trillion from 330 million Americans. And somehow it's not enough. Somehow if we only gave them more, they would get it right. If only we gave more hours of our life. The average tax burden in the American citizen is over 30%. That's 1 out of every 3 hours. Do you understand? Do you understand? That means January, February, March, into April, you are not making $1 for yourself, your family, your hopes, your dreams, your loved ones.
We got a great comment here. We have Mona the Hymn. Hey, Gerard, they donated $19.99 SAR. And they said, hey, Gerard, we've been sharing your content to my closest friends in Saudi who are interested in the truth. You are making waves. Keep it up.
Thank you very much, my friends. I appreciate it. I really, really do. Thank you guys so much. It means a lot. That $19.99 is going to buy Christian a lamp. So he appreciates it as well. But it's the truth, guys. It's the truth. I have nothing. I make no money off this, guys. This costs me money. This costs me friends. This costs me gigs. This costs me career in the entertainment industry. I won't tone it down. I'd still be at other jobs, wink, if I could tone it down. No. I'm here for you because you are being lied to. You are being manipulated. You are being propagandized. And it's not okay. We deserve better. You deserve better. Pete Buttigieg should be ridiculed and mocked by everybody. He's going to run for president again. He should be so ashamed. Gavin Newsom should be so ashamed. Phil Murphy, ashamed. Gretchen Whitmer, ashamed. These people should not feel comfortable walking in public. We shouldn't do anything physically to them. But we should be looking at all these people like, my God, how dare you? Move to France. Move to Brussels. You want to be European so bad? You want to be royalty? You want to be an aristocrat? Get the fuck out of here. I would take every single hardworking migrant that is coming to this country that wants to build something for themselves and their family and their future over all of these fucking bureaucrats. Take entire families from Venezuela that are escaping communism and put them in to Gavin Newsom's mansion. They'd be better for us. Go live in Europe. You want to be European royalty so goddamn bad. This country fought a war to not have people like you. My family got on a boat and came across the Atlantic to escape British aristocracy. The Irish wanted to be free, so they came here looking for a better life, only to now be blamed for the ills of the British Empire. Nonsensical. You're white. You're a colonizer. I'm Irish. The British were beating the shit out of us for 1,000 years before they knew the New World existed. Don't you dare lay their sins at my feet. Learn a little bit of history, just a little bit, before you come at us with that stupid bullshit. You moron. You idiot. And there's no being nice to these people anymore. Enough. You've given them enough empathy. Oh, okay, no, I know it's been hard. Shut up. Shut up, idiot. You moron. Read a book. You're colonized. Shut up. Give you $1,000 if you can name me one Irish colony. Do not allow yourself to be a fool, a useful idiot a tool for these elites. Know who they are and ridicule them. Pete Buttigieg deserves ridicule. What they've done to air travel is insane. What they've done to trucking in this country is insane. Between the regulations and the prices of fossil fuels, for their climate extremism, for their Agenda 2030. Build back better. You'll own nothing and be happy. Everybody did your tinfoil hats, and we're like, it's their video. They made this video. It's their website. Look, it's them. They're doing it. They took it down, by the way. They're proud of this. They're proud of their work. They think they're saving the earth. These people are narcissistic on a level you can't even begin to comprehend. You'll own nothing and be happy. 2 years later, housing prices are unaffordable. How did housing prices get so bad? They told you what they're going to do. They tell you. Guys, this is why you pay attention. This is why you listen to me. Because I'll pay attention. If you don't want to pay attention, I will. When these people tell you who they are, believe them. Believe them. You will own nothing. That part, they could take care of. And be happy? How the hell do they know what makes you happy? You will own nothing and be happy. Housing prices are above median income. Is that right? What is it? I just read the stat. I'm so fired up I can't remember. Housing prices aren't affordable. We all know that. I don't need the stats. Anecdotally, you know it. You feel it. You feel the price of rent. You feel the price of gas. You feel the price of groceries. You feel it. Everything is 2-3 times more expensive than it was. Are you making 2-3 times the money? But we have $200,000 to paint rainbows, crosswalks. Oh, by the way, if you leave a black skid mark, if you leave a tire mark, if you do a donut on that crosswalk, you're a felon. Your tax dollars that paid for that are also going to pay for you to be arrested, tried, charged for defacing public property. Now, if you walked across the crosswalk, pulled out a hypodermic needle, shoved it in your arm, pulled your pants down, and took a shit on the street, perfectly fine. Everybody understands. You deserve empathy. But if you leave a little black tire mark on that crosswalk, oh, buddy, that's a hate crime. What are we doing here? Oh, we live in a civil society. How dare you? How dare you deface our crosswalk, son? Just walk off the crosswalk and take a shit in front of the daycare center like everyone else does. How much longer are we going to put up with this, people? And where's Ron DeSantis? The crosswalk I'm talking about is in Tampa. Ron, pardon that guy before it even gets to trial. Say, don't go through the trial. Do not waste the taxpayers' dollars. I'm pardoning them. Do it. Well, what? Is it going to piss people off? They weren't going to vote for you anyway. Enough. Somebody, anybody, say enough. Enough. Nope. Or else it'll never stop. Christian, is there anything else from the people? All right, guys. This has been Gerard versus Evil. I'll be back maybe tomorrow, depending on Christian's schedule. And then we got the 4th of July on Thursday. And then I'll be back probably Saturday, guys, before I get back on the road. Everybody that came out to Louisville and West Palm Beach, it just means so much to me, guys. I can't. It's sometimes weird when you're, and I know that other comedians have talked about this, but like when you kind of cross that chasm between like doing shows and people are showing up and you're doing shows, and now people actually showing up for you to see you. I'm so humbled. I can't believe how many people showed up to that Louisville show. It was so much fun. Over 200 people on a Sunday. You know, and it was 90-something degrees with 80-something humidity. And if I may say, I think Carolla and myself put on an unbelievable show. And the show in West Palm was just as incredible. All you folks that come out to the shows, I can't thank you enough. It's so much fun, and it means so much when you take the pictures, you post them, and, you know, and all your kind words mean so much. We've got shows coming up in Boca Raton, Florida. Got shows coming up in St. Louis, Oklahoma City, and Tulsa, Oklahoma. Those are all coming up in July. Come and see them. I'm going to take the month of August off of at least stand-up. Maybe take a couple weeks off of podcasting. We'll see. I'll see. But the month of July here, come see me at Boca Raton. I got 2 shows in Boca Raton. I got 1 show in St. Louis, 1 show in Oklahoma City, and 1 show in Tulsa, Oklahoma with Carolla Miljavik. It's going to be so much fun. And please check out telirx.com. Use code S&T. It does help us, obviously. This is how sponsors work. But it'll help you too. It's a great product. You're gonna get. It saves you a trip to the doctor. It saves you a trip to the pharmacy. You get high quality products at affordable prices sent right to your door. Check out telirx.com for you and your family. I'm Gerard Michaels. That is the great King Gooner himself, Christian Perello. This has been Gerard versus Evil.
Everyone's a victim!